Yo, what is up, Aldous Huxley and Brave New World? Welcome back to a brave new day. And in today's video, we're going to be combining Shrapnel, and I'll explain why his head is backward, with Axlegrease. So I just want to say what's up to everyone in TV land. Yeah, I got a pretty nasty cut over here, so I'm nursing a Band-Aid. And if this is your first time, just wanted to say welcome, 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 okay? And if this is not your first time, well then, welcome back. So cool. I didn't flip his head over because it's really, really stiff and it's going to hurt my finger if I do so. So I left it like this because today's build, we're actually going to be flipping his I was about to say his waist over and a bunch of other things as well. And just bear with me until you see the final product, okay? So you saw what I did first. I flipped over the arms, I rotated them, and I rotated them at the waist. Oh, and by the way, if you guys could do me a really big favor, can I ask you just to watch this video as long as you can? You know, all of that really contributes to the algorithm and in terms of making this video relevant, and all the ad revenue and stuff goes to help charity. And so if you could just do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Yeah, it really goes a long way. Yeah, thank you so much, okay? And so everything has been flipped over like this. This little Decepticon symbol is from a ConstructBot set. It is on a 5mm, and I have an Autobot one as well. So it's really great for builds like this, so you can like kind of doll it up and spice it up and things like that, right? So what we are going to do is then we're going to open up this shin. And one of the things I was going to say is it's not that I haven't done an Axlegrease and a scrap hook combiner before. I did that really cool one that incorporates the punch counterpunch gimmick. And maybe I can show you on this video if I haven't made a video for it already, but I think I have. But this particular build, well, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there's influences from the great master builders Pri, Pesson, and RoboZ. And because I've started building some of their creations and remixing them, it's allowed me to grow as a builder as well. And oh, okay. See what I did over here? I collapsed the legs, and one of the key things is you just basically collapse this up until the feet are resting right on the knees, like that, okay? And so, you know, life is all about growth, right? In my opinion, at least. And some of the easy stuff, by the way, I'm not going to really talk over. Like this is Axlegrease's leg, the shin, right? I don't need to explain that. And but yeah, it's all about the process of build, measure, and learn, you know? Like I used to draw a lot, and when I was a kid, I would just trace people's stuff, yeah. And I would just trace them. I wouldn't really think about like, I wouldn't be thinking about anything else other than that I am just trying to follow these lines and recreate this image, right? And that's the tracing aspect. And that is kind of like building. You're making something. You're not really putting any other thought into other than just trying to recreate what you are seeing. But as you get a little bit more advanced, you're going to start measuring. And what I mean by that is when I started copying like Jim Lee and other like you know, Mark Silvestri and these comic artists, you start measuring. And what I mean by that is you start analyzing. It's like, oh, they draw a certain musculature like this. Oh, perspective looks like this when they're in a certain angle. And so no longer are you just kind of copying, you're measuring, you know, you're analyzing. And after you start analyzing, then you learn from that. You're like, oh, a bicep looks like this, a tricep looks like this, you know, lats look like this. And then from there, you learn, and that's when the process kind of completes. And so when you rebuild stuff, you incorporate that learning that you got from your measuring, and then you put it into a new build, and this is what you're seeing right now. Like I said, I have built this, used these same ingredients before, Shrapnel and Axlegrease, but in terms of how I am making them now, this is new, and it's because I have learned based on the teachings of those master builders. And yeah, so again, I have no shame in admitting that this is highly inspired. I mean, it doesn't look like any of their builds, but what I learned is utilizing this accessory, really, really kind of like in-depth, understanding the usage of this. And that's why this build is an improved version, in my opinion, of what I have built before. And so if you saw what I did right there is, these are the Axlegrease specific accessories. And I've plugged them into the shoulders, and I've plugged the little chevrons in as well. Cool. So this back piece over here This is the Axlegrease torso, which I did not use before. In terms of how this would normally look, this would be flipped over. This would be flipped over like this. This would be facing forward, and then this would be flipped down, and then the head would be facing forward. So this is the typical Axlegrease body. But what we're doing is we are flipping the waist around to reveal that tab so that we can plug in this chest. And then we are adding the shin guns to the shoulder ports. And then what we're going to do is, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm trying to remember. Hold on for a second. I'm going to have to consult my picture. I took some pictures. But, okay. So I have it like so. And then I have it, okay. So the arm is basically plugging in, and you want the tires to be facing on the inside. Yeah, this build is pretty fresh, and therefore I haven't memorized how it's built. But one thing, at least for me personally, you know, when I look at other artists and I definitely, like, let's say I copy their style or something, I don't know. I have no problem admitting that, like, yeah, this is highly inspired by them. I learned from them. I think it's cool. It makes me feel like I'm citing like a sensei's name, you know? It's like, I learned this from Sensei Steven Seagal. Okay, that's not a good name. But I learned this from Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee or Van Damme or any of those, any real teacher, right? Or something. Or I learned this from a GSP, George St. Pierre, or I learned this from Francis Ngannou. Like, I think it's awesome to cite references and talk about your inspirations. And because of that, I know it's a personal peeve of mine when people just swagger jack, dude. I mean, it's cool. I get it. Like, in terms of my builds, I've been getting a lot of exposure. But dude, I've already encountered several people on like Instagram, Twitter, who just like, I don't know. I mean, they follow me and I know they follow me, and like suddenly their builds just look almost identical to what I build, and there's no like proper credit and stuff. And I get it. You don't have to, I can't force anyone to do anything, but it is a pet peeve of mine. Yeah. It's like, and then they just kind of act like, yeah, dude, like I made this like all by myself. I didn't need no help or nothing. And especially like on Reddit, not necessarily mine, because people have been actually pretty good on Reddit. But when I see people copying RoboZ stuff or pre-Pisson stuff without giving them credit, dude, it annoys me. It annoys me. Yeah, swagger jacking. Yeah, I don't know. I should just let it go, honestly, because it's so petty and it's so like, but so you know what? I'm going to try not to let it bother me as much. Yeah. But build, measure, and learn. That's a great kind of like philosophy to follow, you know. Build when you don't know anything about it, meaning just copy. And once you start getting your head around things and start understanding stuff, start measuring, start analyzing, start taking it apart, and so that you can learn from the process and then take those yields, those learnings, and then reapply it once again into your build cycle, and keep doing that over and over and over. And practice will make progress, my friend, and you will get to that destination that you so desire. But yeah, this is the back, and I think it looks phenomenal. The arm movement is impeded though, because you can see the way this is all connected. So he's really just kind of like moving himself at the wrist, or excuse me, elbow and wrist and stuff. And same thing for legs. Legs aren't too bad, I suppose. But the shoulder articulation will be limited. But yeah, so if you have these builds, try it out at home, or if you have these parts rather. I think it's a really fun build. And if you have the opportunity, build, measure, and learn, and let that contribute towards your growth. Okay, have a wonderful day. I will talk to y'all very soon, as I'm on my journey to create content with y'all before I head out to Asia. We'll see if I can keep y'all entertained while I'm gone. Okay, bye friends.